We are rolling. Here we go again.
Audio is on. Time is on. I have pulled up my notes. Alrighty. Let me know when you're ready and I'll do the clap.
Do the clap.
Okay. Welcome back to A Defense of the Awkward Moment. Game of Thrones, Season 4, joined again by Michael Zupon.
The Meister in training.
The Meister in training. We need to get you some chains. That's
so hot.
Let's have that be the last time I say that to you.
Yeah, let's reconsider.
Season 4. Best season. On an order of magnitude, Arya Stark is adorable. She is. Maisie Williams. I grow more and more attached to her as the seasons go on. I'm officially now as interested in what's going on with Maisie Williams as I am what's going on with Peter Dinklage.
Yep.
And that's a heck of a thing.
Because he can act too.
Yeah, he can. The show for me now officially has the problem where I'm very, very, very interested in certain plot points. But for as interested as I have become in certain parts of the show, I have equally become uninterested in other parts of the show. We are at peak diamond in the rough territory.
Yeah, the problem is the diamonds are no longer in the rough. You don't have to sort through the rough to find the diamonds anymore. The diamonds are over here in these scenes, but they just put lots of rough in between them.
Yeah, it's a slog.
And what would you consider the roughest part of the rough?
Oh goodness, Danny
and Marine.
Danny is a given. Probably freaking Jon Snow. He slowly but surely, Jon Snow is becoming more interesting to me. I'll tell you the other thing that I absolutely just cannot give a damn about is anything that's going on in King's Landing now that Tywin is gone.
Yeah,
I don't care about
Tywin
Cersei.
and Tyrion are gone, and
yeah, King's Landing is officially boring as shit. I don't. What's his name? Tommen? Tommen, the boy king.
Yes.
Who is torn between battling vaginas.
Yeah, but one of those vaginas is really pretty.
I think particularly both of them are horrible looking, but. Yeah, I just can't freaking be bothered. There's nothing going on in King's Landing anymore that I'm even remotely interested in. And that's season 5 stuff, so I don't want to talk about that just yet. But
next week,
yeah, probably next week. No, I'm just there's so much of the show that I'm utterly uninterested now in. I had a serious problem when I finished. When I finished season 1, I immediately rolled into season 2, immediately rolled into season 3. We've been doing these about once a week. Clearly, I've been bulldogging this television show pretty hard. I had no intense burning desire to start season 5 whatsoever.
Season 4 ends on a lot of big bangs.
Yeah.
And it kind of leaves you empty there for a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I even with Arya sailing off to go find Jaqen, I'm just... There's, just kind of hollowed out. I had no huge drive, and even now, I'm watching season 3. I think I'm watching season 5. I think I'm on episode 3 of season 5 now. Mm-hmm. I'm just not feeling flogged. I say that I'm actually in episode 5. I'm just not feeling hugely flogged to watch this show. So maybe, and as you say, a lot of stuff happens at the end of season 4, and we'll talk about that.
Season 5 has been a big dip for a lot of people, but we'll get to that next week. Or maybe Monday, the way you're going.
It could be. Only 2 episodes in, I started, so many more notes for season 4.
Sure.
I was clearly deeply invested in season 4 by the time we got here. Only 2 episodes in, and I have so much more to say about this season. I don't know if that's because the show is legitimately getting better, or if I'm just more invested in it now and I've just started paying more attention. I don't know if I went back and watched season 1 now.
because of me.
It's true. Poor Ned Stark. Not even his sword can live.
No. Anything associated with Ned Stark must die. Valo Morgulis.
Come on, you bastards. Leave his sword alone.
Yes.
So sad. So sad.
Valar Sean Venus.
Yeah. Tyrion and Shay. Oh,
That's a little heartbreaking.
Such a big part. I'm going to skip to the end of some of my notes here. The first legitimate twinge of emotion that I have had the entire time I've been watching this show, the first legitimate I had was when Tyrion turns around in the courtroom and Shay is the one walking up to the stand.
Yeah.
Right before you actually reveal it's her, the music swells up and you're like, oh no! That's
the night
that was
going
the first
in
little
that most people felt at the purple or at the red wedding. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Shay starts out the season being even less sympathetic to Tyrion than usual. I have a really, really big problem here. It is becoming painfully obvious to me that either George R.R. Martin or the scriptwriters for the show, or a combination of the two, are really just not consistently good writers across the board. There are several different points in season 4 where the writing for the characters, and I don't know if this is George R.R. Martin or the scriptwriters took liberties, where people were just utterly, wait, that's not in keeping with...
That's not what Shay would normally do.
Yeah, I mean, she's supposed to be really, really smart and really, really quick and totally understanding of Tyrion's situation, and they love each other and they're devoted to each other. Her casual blowing off of his warnings about how much danger she's in is an utter betrayal of the intelligence that character was written with for the first several seasons, and I that was really frustrating for me. The scene where Tyrion dismisses her is sad, not only because you knew it was coming, but because of how poorly both of those characters were written in that scene. Tyrion would not have fallen back on browbeating Shay. And she should be smart enough not to realize that this really, really old, I'm going to say horrible crap about you cliche, so that you get up and leave. That these are two of the smartest characters in the show. That whole scene frustrated me so much.
Yeah.
Because it was inevitable and so poorly done.
It should have been a lot more like that scene between Robert and Cersei in season 1, where it's like, we know how this is going to end. It's not going to end well for either of us.
Yeah, that was so well done. That first scene, it was just so well done. There clearly, I'm assuming there's backstory with Shay in the books that isn't explained in the TV, like how the F does she get off of a ship that Varys has clearly seen her do?
Shay is a much shallower character in the books, believe it or not. She is she's not nearly as crafty as she is in the show. That's what happens when you get Charlie Chaplin's granddaughter. She might have a little bit of ability to act, maybe not. She doesn't have the attachment to Sansa in the books, and she's just a much more naive character. So
I don't understand how she goes from leaving on a jet plane to
right.
Not just suddenly back, but back enough
to have developed some lies and
be prepared and to clearly have moved up in the world.
Yes,
which is only made
or back and forth in the world, as the case may be.
Indeed, which is only made that much more interesting by the fact that how the hell did Tyrion even know where she was staying in the castle when it came time for their final confrontation? Which that's another one of those things that
he didn't know she was sleeping with his dad.
Oh,
that was a complete surprise. He's going up to confront his father, and then the fact that his ex-girlfriend is there just kind of sets him off.
That explains things. That explains things a little bit better. Tyrion's speech at the end of the trial.
Yeah.
That'll.
Wish I had.
That'll do. Subtle menace from Peter Dinklage. That'll do. It really, really will. I suppose it's too much to hope for a dragon eating Dany, just at random. the one thing that I've enjoyed in season 4 and in the first parts of season 5 about Dany is the logistics of what she's doing finally coming home to roost. There's a lot of season 4 and a lot of season 5 so far that just wraps around everything that she's been trying to do completely and totally fucking blowing up in her face.
But she still skates through it all. Personally.
It's true.
Everyone else suffers consequences, but she's like,
You know, how she... And they're going to skate out of it without explaining it either. But, oh god, I can't control my dragons. You didn't spend any time training your dragons. You sealed your dragons away in a dark catacomb. So why do your dragons ever have any incentive to obey you ever again? And for that matter, the big one, Drogon. Suddenly he's gone, and nobody knows why he's gone. But then he comes back for a little bit, and then he leaves again. And he's clearly much bigger than the other 2 dragons. The fuck?
Well, I don't remember if they covered it in the show, but in the books, dragons are like alligators in that they will never stop growing as long as they have room and food. So because Drogon is out flying around free, eating however much he wants, he grows larger than the 2 that are in chains.
I see. That, thank God you're here, sir.
Yeah.
Thank God you're
I
here.
can explain the little things, you know.
Yeah. Sansa.
I can't explain that.
Sansa continues to be an absolute moron. But...
And now she's victim moron.
Yeah, and I can't tell whether or not, at the end of season 4, beginning of season 5, I can't tell whether or not she's just really a moron but is developing survival skills along with it, or if she's just utterly and repeatedly stupid. Everything... Wandering off on her own after Tyrion tries to be nice to her at the beginning of the season before everything completely goes to pot. That was ganz dumm. Taking some random individual's jewelry after the king has already shamed him, telling him that she's going to wear it around in public. That was ganz dumm. How that person ever came to find her while she was wandering around the hedge maze and her not...
Are we talking about Sir Dantos?
Whoever the jester was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just so many things falling into line. And you're like, wow, you have never watched a single horror movie in your life.
But she hasn't. She grew up on fairy tales of knights and pretty princesses.
And yet I'm glad that somebody keeps reminding me about that, because that's the only thing that explains the gaping lack. And after she's escaped, hello, Toby.
Shush, Toby. We are joined by Toby the half dog. Which
the
you would
half
see if he was a normal sized dog.
After they escape on the boat, Littlefinger tells her, "What did I tell you about the capital?" She goes, "Everybody's a liar there." And he's like, "Yes, but I want you to trust me because you're safe now."
Yes.
Shortly before they arrived at the Eyrie, and everything goes to shit there again too. Although,
you were very satisfied with the ending of one particular character.
Oh yeah, I don't even know what her name is. Lysa
Tully.
Yeah,
well,
her getting slam dunked through the moon door was amazing. The only thing that could have been better than that is if Robin would have gone with her while breastfeeding. That just would have been
poetic.
Would have been the Holy Trinity right there. It really, really would. The other thing that's weird, Littlefinger can't decide what the hell he is. He can't decide if he's British or if he's Irish or if he's Batman.
Yeah.
His voice goes from clear and lilting and British to rough and Irish to really, really rough and
Batman.
Yes.
And Christian Bale, yeah.
Yeah, he can't decide also.
That's been remarked upon by a number of people trying to figure out what the hell his accent is supposed to be.
He's also aging visibly. He has much more gray in his hair than he did before. He looks like freaking Reed Richards now.
He could be a Reed Richards. I could see that.
He probably could be a Reed Richards.
He could have been Doctor Strange, but...
I don't want to talk about Sansa anymore. I want to talk about Arya and the Hound.
You don't want to talk about Sansa and the whole getting married thing?
No, that doesn't come up until season 5. Though that's fucking stupid, too.
Yeah. Arya and the Hound.
The
best road show since The Last of Us.
Oh, God.
It's pure gold.
It is. It's
every time they're on screen.
Every single stinking time. The bit with naming swords.
Yes.
The bit with chickens. The bit where she finally gets Needle back from the dude.
Yeah.
The reciprocity at play there was amazing.
She just starts a little roaring rampage of revenge.
Amazing
all over
television.
The Riverlands.
Yeah, you're really finally getting a chance to see the kind of character that she might turn into. That was the first one of those sit back and Oh, that was good television. I mean, that was...
And then the chicken.
Then the chicken. Might need 2 chickens.
You want to die over some chicken? Somebody's going to die over some chicken.
People name swords.
Lots of people name swords. Lots of quints.
That's so good. The Hound's dialogue is so good. The scene a couple episodes later when she runs into whoever the dude whose name she didn't have. I can't kill him. He's not on my list. Why not? I don't know his name. What's your name? My name is such and such. Thank you. Stabbed.
She has a little code, you know.
That's so good.
She had a little code.
So good.
Look, it's Toby the half dog.
Hey, Toby the half dog.
He's going to make noise until I pick him up. So.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Hi,
All right.
buddy.
Anyway, moving on. Shush. Now you're on mic.
The final scene between Arya and the Hound was chilling.
So heartbreakingly
chilling. I seriously thought that she was going to stab him. The music would swell and she would stab him. I didn't think they had the balls to do the other thing, and I'm so glad that she did, because it's so much better.
Oh yeah.
And so telling again of just somebody's learning.
The Heartbreak Kid.
Yeah, the evolution of her as a character. Jon Snow doesn't freaking grow at all until 1 or 2 episodes into season 5, and it's only a little bit of growth. And I'm not talking about what happened with your grit.
That was
Sansa,
a whole different kind of growth.
Yeah, Sansa never grows. Ned, Cat never grow. They're just stupid from tip to toes. Arya, there's legitimate growth, legitimate character development, legitimate learning.
Oh yeah.
And that's probably one of the reasons why I continue to be as interested in her as I am. She's just stinking amazing. She's eating scenery with a fork and a knife.
What'd you think about the fight between the Hound and Brienne? That was some
I was legitimately curious about who's going to come out on top of that one.
Yeah.
I really was. I'm, as much as I really enjoy Brienne of Tarth, I'm kind of disappointed. I want more Hound and Arya Road movie.
Oh yeah.
I really do. I've never really cared until now. Moving on to a slightly different subject, and I guess I still don't really give a shit. The 2 people, the guy and the girl escorting Hodor and Bran and Osha, who are they and where did they come from?
All right. That is Jojen, the boy, and Mira Reed.
Okay.
The Reeds are a family of swamp dwellers.
The Fens. The
Fens.
Yeah, okay.
That basically is the area that cuts off between the north and the south.
Mm-hmm.
And their castle is a floating castle called Greywater Watch. Their father is named Howland Reed, who was with Ned, was basically Ned's sidekick during the Great Rebellion.
Okay.
He is the only living person who was there at Jon's birth. So he is the only living person who knows Jon's parentage.
Howland
Reed. So he is very important for somebody who has never actually appeared on screen. He has vital knowledge, and people have been begging for him to show up for 20 years now. 21 years now. Thanks, George. Slow riding bastard. So they are his children. And yeah, they are now on a northern
Vision Quest.
For
the Three-Eyed Raven.
For the Three-Eyed Raven. And a sled and a Hodor.
Indeed. The death of Jojen. Couldn't be bothered. Utterly emotionless. Yeah. An utterly emotionless scene. And also a little silly, because if the children can bolts of lightning from their eyes and fireballs from their arse, if they can do all that, why do they need to hide?
Yeah.
It's like whack-a-mole.
Because there's many more whites than children, but yeah.
Clearly they're not.
They
just
run
send
out of
those
spell
fuckers
slots.
out there in packs. Some people stuck on crickets.
They run out of spell slots.
Yeah.
So
short rests.
Short rests.
Yeah. No. Cersei. I never took Cersei for flat out stupid until this season.
Oh yeah.
And this is another one of those cases of I'm really, really frustrated with the way that this character is being written. Her chastisement of Jaime for not returning quick enough is absolutely idiotic for somebody who's supposed to be as sharp-minded as she is. You didn't escape quick enough. The fuck?
Yeah. She's always considered herself much smarter than anybody else considers her.
And this is before she has reason to start going, even more off the handle. Joffrey hasn't died yet. She's just suddenly a rampaging bitch. Family, 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 family. The father of your children is back. You didn't come back quick enough. What?
Yeah.
What? It was so... I don't care about her as a character, but the betrayal of how she's being depicted is frustrating.
Well, if you just consider raging narcissist, and yeah, that's the reason that she has sex with Jaime, is it's the closest thing on Earth to herself.
Okay, fair enough. I desperately want more scenes between Tywin Lannister and Marjorie's grandmother. I'm frustrated that the won't ever happen again. But you want to talk about two masters of the craft sparring with each other? It's delightful. It's so delightful. The actors as well as the characters. To see two people up there.
Oh, they do a divine scene.
Not just
a divine scene together.
Not just chewing the scenery, but trying to steal the scenery from each other. So good. So good.
And Olenna drops more truth per minute than anybody on the planet.
Indeed.
Always with a twist.
The death of Joffrey. The most unsatisfying bit of television possibly ever conceived.
What were you expecting?
Something
fed to a dragon.
I don't know. Tortured, stabbed, flayed. I don't know. By a Stark. I don't know if it's getting his ass kicked by Arya and then stabbed at the very end, or Sansa finally cutting his throat slowly in the bedroom, or something.
Eaten by a direwolf.
Something more satisfying than discreetly poisoned by a Tyrell.
Dying in the arms of his mom. She watches the light pass from his eyes.
His
red, bloodshot eyes staring straight down her cleavage. The camera angle on that was
should have been written differently. That was hilariously unsatisfying. Here's another guy whose name I can't be bothered to know. Brad Pitt, who's no longer Brad Pitt, but is Eric Bana with a beard. Daenerys's.
Dario.
They couldn't even be bothered to find somebody who looks even remotely like him.
that was shocking to everybody.
It's so bad. It's like, wow, you're not a Lothario.
That's like worse than the second Darren, because they at least kind of looked alike.
It's no good. It's no good. The liberation of yet another huge city by Dany's plot armor was at least interesting to watch. The barrels filled with all the collars. That was
it was a symbolic gesture.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Then she kind of went off the rails.
Oh, we'll get to that. Okay. How the hell did all the Unsullied just happen to know where the secret entrance was? Yeah, he doesn't like it either.
There's always a secret entrance.
There's always, and they know where it is. We talked about this before. It's been so nice watching the logistics of Dany running around the world, half-cocked, finally come back to bite her in the ass.
With a bigger and bigger army and horde of people following her, and somehow they all get fed.
Yeah.
And watered in the desert.
But now all of a sudden, there's dragons, and, the dragons are eating sheep and this and that and the other, and then somebody brings
and people.
Ashed, 3-year-old into the courtroom, and now, she's not respecting this and that and the other, trying to impose her will upon, living people and living cultures, and you're seeing more of this in season 5, but the bit with the Sons of the Harpy or whatever. More and more stuff like that, which... we'll get to that next week, but the bit with the harpy and the bit with the sparrows is irritating. But it's nice to see.
Wow, they're on each side of the narrow sea, and you hate them both, huh?
Yes, it's a stupid plot device to distract from the fact that there's nothing else interesting going on in those areas right now.
Harpies and sparrows, oh my!
Indeed,
and crows if you count the wall.
Indeed, and crows, all the birds. Watching Tywin take Joffrey's little brother away, another name, Tommen, right out from under Cersei, and start manipulating him out from under Cersei's nose was delightful.
You are not going to make this child like your last one, because he was a dick.
Yeah, I mean, he's Tywin's a dirty old bastard, but he's utterly honest about it. He's been the only character so far that has been written just bang on. the entire time. It's been absolutely delightful. Watching him ply his craft, Charles Dance. I'm not sure why this stuck out to me, but that the scene where they're all in the septum, looking at Joffrey's body, there's light coming through a 7-pointed star, which I'm assuming is supposed to be light from outside, and there's light coming through the star and landing directly on the bier where Joffrey is. And throughout that whole scene, the light never moves. I'm not sure why that stuck out to me, but I was like, wow,
let's not worry about astronomical physics in a land that has 7-year winters.
Indeed. It's been a while since weird shit happened, so Jaime and Cersei having sex right next to their dead son. Check that box for me. Thanks for that. Well done. I have no idea what the names of the traitor crows were that were holed up at Craster's Keep, but it was nice to see them all die, especially the leader.
Oh yeah, the braggart.
Yeah, he was
whoever of Flea Bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was.
He talked about himself a lot.
Yeah, he was an awful individual
and died screaming.
Which
was the best thing for him, really.
Yeah, I have no idea. I also have no idea what the name of the acting Lord Commander is, but he's a douche and can die horribly in a fire.
Alistair Thorne.
Yeah, he's just an irritating individual. In the realm of more nails in the coffin, in the realm of bittersweet television, the moment that Bronn and Tyrion have, when Bronn comes to Tyrion's cell and basically tells him he's not going to fight for him.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, for as many of the moments in the show were poorly written in this season, that's one of the moments that I thought was so
much better than the conversation Tyrion had with his brother about their deformed cousin. With
the stomping of the beetles.
The stomping of the beetles.
What was that about?
Nobody knows what the fuck that was about.
No, a conversation between brigands. One.
Oh yeah.
Utterly honest with each other, and that was just so well done, but also a little bit heartbreaking. Brigands understand brigands. It was a good scene.
Oh yeah.
It really, really was. The poor Prince of Dorne.
Oberyn Martell. Sex god of the South.
It's a shame that it went the way it did.
Still, one of the great one-season wonders.
Yeah, it really, really was. I'm legitimately interested in what's going on with the Mountain, the Maester who's not a Maester, because he's clearly Frodrick Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
Is clearly doing something. I can't wait for the Mountain to sit up and be
Frankengregor.
Yeah, Frankengregor.
Is the term.
Oh, is it?
Is the term? Yeah, Frankengregor.
Jorah Mormont.
What are you doing?
Poor Jorah Mormont. Cliched, yes, but still a hard scene to watch.
His exile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a hard scene to watch.
A lot of heartbreaking moments in season 4.
Yeah, tough, a tough season. And again, like you said, maybe that's why I've been so eager to rush back into season 5.
It's a lot of breakups. I mean, you got patricide and fratricides, and the breakup of the Arya Hound Road show, and Tyrion killing both his dad and his lover, and Bronn and Tyrion breaking up, and yeah, there's a lot of heartbreak going on.
A lot of endings.
Jorah getting kicked out, and
indeed, people suffering personal tragedy are invisible during times of war. Jon Snow teaches us this.
Mm-hmm.
When the battle at the end of season 4 is happening, when the wildlings and the wildling army finally attack Castle Black, Ygritte gets shot. She's dying in Jon's arms. All of the sound fades away except for Ramin Djawadi's sad score
theme there. Yeah.
And he's kneeling down with her out in the middle of the open while war rages around them both, and nobody touches a hair on their heads.
Nobody even sees them. Ollie's the only person who saw Ygritte, so
And he capitalized on it, so well done, Ollie.
Took care of his business.
Can we talk about Frostbite? This has been bothering me for the last 4
No.
seasons of the show.
We can't talk about Frostbite. Frostbite does not exist.
Okay, as long as I'm not the only one who's
Frostbite exists in the books. Frostbite does not exist in the show. Much like food
no doubt.
in Essos. Food does not exist in Essos. Everybody can go by, marching in giant hordes of fugitives and
No frostbite.
no Frostbite.
The fight between the Hound and Brienne of Tarth, I know we talked about that a little bit earlier. The fight itself was impressive. The reason the fight happened was stupid.
Yeah.
That was one of those things that just felt like it was shoehorned in there because people couldn't figure out how to make it work.
It doesn't happen in the books. So.
It was something that was pushed. That was neat fight. Led to an amazing scene between the Hound and Arya, but the fight itself, is just dumb. That's another one of those things where the writing started to fall apart in season 4.
Oh, we didn't talk about. You said you had some questions about Oberyn's fight with the Mountain that you had to get off your chest.
I can't remember. I can't remember.
Which fight did you prefer? Oberyn's fight with the Mountain or Brienne's fight with the Hound? Just from a pure...
Oberyn's fight with the Mountain, by far, because that one, so good, so polished, and I think maybe
had so much cause behind it.
Yeah, but for how controlled and well done the fight was, and how calm Oberyn kept himself throughout the whole thing. He loses his shit at the very end, and the Mountain somehow has enough wherewithal after being stabbed and pinpricked all over his freaking body to come back and crush the man's head like a grape. I found it frustrating and a little bit false that Oberyn would have left himself in the kind of position where that shit could have even happened.
He was a man of passion.
Yeah.
He loved his sister very much.
But an infinitely better scene than the one with Brienne of Tarth, as far as the logic behind
setting
it
up
is
the
concerned.
fight, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm all about Varys trying to save Tyrion.
Just because you're bald.
But why would he abandon everything in his world to save him? Yes, he'll still have money and he'll still have contacts overseas, but a lot of his power rested in the fact that he was on the small council.
The book goes into it a little bit more, but basically he sold... He was getting implicated in the death of Joffrey.
I see.
He didn't actually have anything to do with it, but the pieces were falling. And basically he cashed in all of his chips, freed Tyrion, was going to get Tyrion out, and then other bad things happened because Tyrion went maverick.
Went on a fucking rampage. So dies Tywin Lannister.
Who does not shit gold.
Who does not.
As is reported.
So dies Tywin Lannister. Charlie Dance.
He made it halfway through. It's not too bad.
Yeah, no, it's not. It was one of the names. We'll get to it on my list. He was one of the names on the list. Yeah. Arya's gonna go find Jake. Season 5 could have been nothing but a training montage.
You think?
Yeah,
It would have been fantastic.
Yeah, and I was really, really worried. The last time Arya sees Jake in I think season 2 or season 3. He changes his face.
Yep.
And it's a different actor and it wanders off. And that was, of all the things, kind of a frustrating thing. Because the actor that they've got playing Jake is so good.
Yeah.
His nuance and his mannerisms and his voice, everything about him.
It's hard to play a faceless assassin if you always use the same guy, so they had to make some compromises.
Yeah, but you won't find out about this until season 5, but seeing him again in season 5 made me very, very happy.
Yeah.
He's such a good actor. Such a good actor.
Another great actor that Arya keeps up with.
Yeah, indeed.
Because Maisie can act.
Yeah. I'm just not as excited about the show anymore. And maybe that's just because season 4 took the piss out of it.
It does. Season 4 is a big emotional roller coaster. and basically you have to start up the next hill on 5.
Well, maybe. I as somebody who's watched, what are you, 3 episodes into season 7 now?
Mm-hmm.
Is the downhill going to be just as good?
Oh, you climb other hills. Yeah, things get rolling. Things will get rolling here in the next few episodes for you.
All right, that's good. Stuff needs to get rolling again.
Yeah,
because it's been slow. It's well, we'll talk about that more. Season 5's podcast is probably going to be pretty short, kids. It really it probably will be. Naming of the principal characters. We talked about this last week. Tywin Lannister, no longer on the list. The other
R.I.P.
Yeah, Arya, Sansa, Tyrion, Tywin, Cersei, Jaime, and Bran on my list. Tywin, no longer there. His name was struck from the rolls.
Yep. Join the honored dead.
They keep on killing off all the really good actors.
They make the most money.
Yeah, they really do. And the crazy thing is, because of spoilers on the internet, I know that at some point Cersei ends up with short hair and on the throne. Which means Tommen has to go somewhere, which means Marjorie has to go somewhere. And I just don't care that somebody other than Arya.
Tyrion.
Yeah, pretty much just Arya.
And Tyrion. He still has the best lines. I don't know who he's bribing in the screenwriting department, but he always gets the best lines.
I even in the episodes that I've seen so far in season 5, even Tyrion has lost some of his charisma, which is fitting given what he just walked away from and what kind of a mental state he's in right now.
He's drinking himself to death or doing his best approximation of.
But yeah, anybody not Arya, I just don't give a shit about. I'm not interested in the story anywhere, especially with some of the other things that are happening. And we'll talk about that shit again next week. But
training montage.
Yeah, there just needs to be a big damn training montage. All I want to see is Arya learning how to kick ass with
an 80s soundtrack in the background.
Oh yeah,
she's the best around. That needs to be your credits music.
Yeah, that needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. Next week, we'll probably do it again next week. Until then, thanks for watching, and we'll be back.
Toby says bye. Say bye, Toby. Don't look at me. Look at the camera. Look at the ear.
Fired.
Half dog.